Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakodash. Double honor to my bishops, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom, salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth throughout the four corners of the earth, delivering the message to your elect out there to run a race of salvation. And shalom to your elect, which consists of the men, women, and children that have the true, sincere faith of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. Also to the speckled birds, the ones that do not look like your average Negro, Latino, or Native American, but the ones that have an ear, the spiritual ears, the hair. The ones that looking to earn their wings of salvation and flee the hour of temptation of Brother Moffat of the DC Church. And real quick, I'm going to start off with this, because, you see the war out there in the Middle East is heating up again, to where I seen an article, or CNN had posted that between the retaliation airstrikes between Iran and Israel has been, basically heightened since like April. So you could tell, like, you got the waves of the the tenseness of that war over there, and that's just how prophecy. That's just how the spirit works. To where, you had DJ Trump, or you just had the spirit of war on DJ Trump to go over, to help Israel or whatever you have you. But the whole point is that, it seems things are going to be dying down, and then things speed up again, die down, and things speed up again. Like, who could remember that Russia and Ukraine was still at war, until you see new articles talking about how Russia bombed something out there in Ukraine, and, that war is still ongoing and things of that nature. So you see that how, like I said, you got the waves, how it gets tense. It seems like it dies down and intensifies and things of that nature. So that's why, let me get this is Habakkuk 2. I'm going to start at the top. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am approved. And that's the thing. The Lord has given us the spirit to watch, and he has put us in a certain predicament to where we can see the enemy coming, and we're blowing the horn to warn the people that not only war is coming, but your Yahushua's Savior is coming. So it's good to get your house in order, that was something throughout the week. It's like it's getting your, being in order, right? But not just in order with yourself, right? Because we know that habits go into not just into your spiritual life, but into your carnal life, and vice versa. It's all 360. It's all in one loop, right? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. But you can break those loops by how I just said. You could do how you do one thing is you do everything. So if you discipline in this one area, you could take those disciplinary skills in that one area and then apply it to the places where you're weak at. And that's I'm a strong believer that, like, you can break your bad habits. You just have to basically break up your fellow grounds and keep trucking, because the spirit, it says the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. If you pray and you consistent about breaking bad habits and things of that nature, the Lord will grant you your desires, right? Because the Lord said he shall give you your desires. But only desires that we know not to pray for and strive for is the desires of the flesh, of a better car, better house, and things of that nature. Of course, depending on your circumstances, you might want a better car and a house and a better living situation and things of that nature, but nothing that's like living outside your means, to where you're not in the truth, because those tangible things could lead you astray and take you off track of following Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But and the Lord answered me and said, Habakkuk 2, it says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right? And what we doing these videos, we out here going out there on camp, and things of that nature to warn the people. So that's how we're making it plain upon the tables, right? So the people that do see and hear, it will be clear, to where even like how the brothers like to say, even a 2-year-old could get this, a 5-year-old, and these are the things that we're teaching the people to gear themselves up for what Esau is getting ready to do, coming down, like the scriptures say, he's coming down having great wrath, right? Let me just grab this because I was thinking about it, right? This is John 10:10. Well, I'm going to start at 9. It says, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. And that's the thing. We was going over how Yahweh Shai is the mediator for us to get to Yahweh, right? And Lord will we be the prophets. I'm a prophet, a man of the Lord, that I'll be a mediator for the ones that's getting ready to come in. What the brothers talk about, the influx and the people coming in and things of that nature. And we'll be the mediators, how to present, teach the people how to present themselves to even talk to Yahweh Shai, so they'll be able to receive salvation. That's one thing, like to earn, we all trying to earn our wings, right? But this is verse 10. Here's the point, because I read that part where Yahweh Shai is the door. He's the only way you can get into to enter in that pasture, that open place, that wide place, the kingdom, that pleasantful place, right? It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy, right? And we know that, look, Esau Edom is a real covetous man. You see throughout history that every time Jake was doing well, Esau had to create some type of diversion or just create some type of false flag to where he could get ahead and impose on Jake's business and tear it down and create, kill, massacre a bunch of Jakes and turn that place even into like a resort of some sort, of like a national park or a lake, right? And things to that nature. And how, like, Esau Edom has such deep hatred that he'll forward the affliction of us, right? They had put that earlier in the chat. Oh yeah, there was out there, whether it was Texas or North Carolina, I'm not sure. You had an Edomite run up on Jake, or whatever the case would have. I don't know if he ran up on Jake or he was just passing by and there was words said back and forth, and Esau came back with an assault rifle and was shooting. I don't know how he didn't shoot nobody because Jake wound up hitting him. But yet you see how Esau Edom just can't leave things alone, especially with the women, right? You got these Karens out here, just, I could be just doing this, and what do you do parking here, etc. Esau Edom just gotta, that's the pride, right? So with that pride, that's how we know this place is going to be taken down. Constantly feeding out people lies and saying, this country is a well-to-do country, it's a fair country, you come here and live free and things of that nature, not knowing, like, the people that come over here that don't really speak English like that, or don't know about the ways of America, is putting themselves in a deep ditch, a trap, to where this being fed but nothing but lies. Just how, like, that woman that sat on a scarlet-colored beast and shit, and she held that cup, but, like, in that cup, right, that Babylon juice was just nothing but adultery, fornication. Those are the two biggest things, right? It's crazy, right? How you got a bunch of these women, they just super into, like, being adulterous and things of that nature. And you see how it's crazy, right? How they mix up that word fornication, because fornication really means to be worshiping of the gods. And that's something that's big in this place. That, like, what the scriptures talk about. When Yahweh Shai was talking to that Samaritan woman, where he said, we know what we worship, you know not what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, it's of the Israelites, and that's the thing. These people have drunken of that Babylon juice, and they got them all bugged out, worshiping gods that they don't even know they're worshiping, being in certain being in certain sacrificial rituals and don't even know it. Those concerts, what's another one? The basketball games and things of that nature. Those are all rituals being performed in front of the people to bewitch the people. And then also what's that called? To where humiliation ritual or humiliation ceremony. Like, a lot of these people be getting humiliated and don't even know that they're in some type of ritual, So that's why these demons be attacking people, and that's going to be one of the biggest things in the end times, where people won't be able to control their thoughts. They're not going to know what's going on because they always been following Satan and trusted in Satan, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. They're going to be following any wind that comes their way, that wind being a demon, right? And they're not going to be able to understand it, like, that's not you that's talking, that's going to be a demon, so there's a lot of people going to have split personalities and be bugging out in these end times, right? Because we know that we live in a technocracy, right? To where there's a bunch of cameras, and all of these agencies are able to give data and facial recognition to the authorities or whoever's pursuing or whatever, and it'll be easier to find and track people. So that only means, right, the MOTB is the chip, and if you take that, you giving them more leverage as far as collecting data and things of that nature, and also you're saying that you're the only one that could feed me if I take this. That makes perfect sense how that fits Revelations 16 and 13, man. Let's just get it real quick. Let me finish this off. It says, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. So you're gonna be destroyed if you take the MOTB from Edom Esau, putting something inside your hand or your body from these people. Okay, it's crazy how the Lord is so merciful that He is giving you signs and warnings, right? Because He got people with the jab. So there's some herbalists and some herbal teas and some detoxes that you could do to take that stuff out your body. And He's giving you mercy right now. But now we're coming up to the time, like now it's about to be real game time, to where if you do take that, it is all over for you. There's a bunch of warning signs going out. It's just like, that's how you know the ones that's blinded are blinded. Just leave it like that. And that's how you could, oh my goodness, it's crazy. Like, I know that I'm all over the place, but you could tell how the Lord is working something to where, like, to build up our minds, to strengthen it, to like let go of certain thoughts. That's why it says take no thought, right? Which basically don't worry about what you're going to wear, don't worry about what you're going to eat. Just basically trust in the presence of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and then working out your salvation. That's the beautiful thing about this truth, that the Lord has given us time to really exercise our minds towards not worrying about things, not being in a panic state of mind. So the more tribulations and trials and errors you go through, the more you will trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It's all about your belief, though, because a lot of people say they believe, but in the end times, you're going to see it's going to be bad, because their belief is going to be broken by what they see. That's why the scriptures say we walk not by sight, but by faith. Walk by faith, not by sight. It says, I am come that they might have life, and they may have it more abundantly, right? And that's the thing, man. We want to have life, and we want to have more abundantly. The only way we could get more abundance of life is being more in depth and broadened in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And it says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for his sheep. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattered the sheep. And that's the thing, man. We're trying to warn you also, not of just Edom Esau and his technocracy and him coming with the MOTB, but also these false prophets that are aligned with Esau, Edom, that have taken the bag, and they're looking forward to what? Scatter the sheep. It says, he that scattereth is not with me. I think that's in I'm not going to, just real quick, let me try, because it's like, I think it's 12 and 24 or 35. Nah, I'm not gonna try it. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, basically the ones that scatter are not with Yahweh Shai. So that's why GMS is strict on what they say and how they conduct business, because we got to make it clear that the other nations are not going to make it. You're not considered, just because of your skin color doesn't make you not an Israelite, but it's all about the spirit. You know, and that's clear. We make that super clear. No matter how individuals feel or not, the thing about the truth has to go out. You know, and then also we're out there not to just wake up the individuals, the elect, by the way of the Ruach HaKodesh, but then also we out there to mark people, because the Lord has a controversy with them, you know. And it's like, once again, like Samuel, like he told Samuel, it's not them that's coming up against you, but they coming up against me, you know. So that's how we know what to be more spiritual and constantly and work on not putting out feelings in this thing, you know, but just put out minds, bodies, you know, because we're in this fleshly body, man. It's going to feel things regardless, but it's like the more you work on it, the better you get at it. Let me hurry up though. Revelations 13 and 16, you know, just to make it clear, because like this is the big hoorah, man. Because when your Howard Shai comes back, you don't want to have something feeling inside to where you did something wrong, and now you're afraid to have, you know, to open your arms, you know, open, you know, your door unto your Howard Shai. You know, I'm getting that from the NLT and Luke, the 12th chapter, to basically when it talked about the master coming and seeing his servant working. Basically, you're gonna open, you know, you're gonna see your Howard Shai and open your arms, and they said at your door, you know, like you'll basically open it abundantly or something to that effect. You know, you'll open it to where, like, you know, immediately. I think it said immediately. You open the door immediately, like the water how should be Howard Shai. You know, we get to see your Howard Shai. Like, thank goodness you're here. You know, to get us out of here. So, you know, wipe the tears of the elects and the one, you know, and the 1/3, and you know, that's what's there, part of your elects. But the thing about it is just like to bring us comfort, so we could receive our rewards. You know, and get up out of this hellhole, man, because we all trying to go home, man. We all tired and sick of this place, but we pray to give us strength to endure hardness as a good soldier, you know, not to just leave, you know, because it would be better. It says to die is to gain everything that you don't have on this side, you will gain on the other side. Peace, harmony, understanding, you know. Here it is, we're on, you know, this planet, and, you know, as the scripture says, hardly do men guess aright, you know. So this is Revelations 3 verse 16, and it says, and he calls of all, both small and great. So it don't matter if you make $13 an hour or $150 an hour. If you're not a super elite rich, you're gonna have to take that mark, man. You know, you can have millions of dollars, you know, even billions. You're still gonna have to receive that thing, unless like you're a super elite, you know, somebody that's not on to where you can get ahead and check to see how much they make and things of that nature, you know. Well, rich and poor, free and bond. So, and you could be, you know, because you still got slaves nowadays out there in, what I think it said in Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken, or one of those countries in the Middle East where they still got slaves out there. It's crazy, you know. But yet these people in here in America, they think they free, but they really slaves too. That's crazy, you know. But free and bond, man. Everybody's gonna receive this thing. You know, the MOTB, it says free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand, and not just talking about your right hand. When the scriptures talk about the right hand, it's talking about your strong hand, because the majority of the people wrote with their right hand in the ancient world. You know, so with that right hand being your strong hand. So you're strong to a lot of days. Nowadays, you got a lot of individuals that write with their left hand, which is that'll be their strong hand. It says in the right hand of the forehead, and they see those crazy. You got that dude that he said he was the first one to get a Neuralink brain implant. And, you know, and that's basically foreseeing the things to come, to where people are going to say ooh and ah, and he's creating all these miracles. People are able to see again. People are able to walk again. You know, they're able to move limbs that they weren't able to move ever before in their life. You know, and that's getting ready to come, to where, you know, you're going to have cyborgs, weirdos, and things of that nature, and they're going to be with the system. But the thing about it, right, I keep, you know, and this one thing about the devil, man, certain things just pop up and it looks weird, right? Like, case in point, you had a bunch of individuals that they were on, they said it was on a trail, a bunch of small hat children was on the trail, or they was on a hike and they took a wrong turn and end up underneath some New York City buildings in some tunnel. That don't make no sense. So that's why you, through the Spirit, you said that what? He said, you shall own nothing and be happy. You're gonna own nothing and be happy. These people, it's crazy, right? Because they want to, from the Georgia Guidestones, they want to depopulate the earth, right? But I said the only way they're gonna be able to do that, they gotta create some type of tension, So what? Like the scriptures we was going into last week, Wednesday camp, how that son of perdition needs to be revealed, which is Edom Esau. A lot of it has to deal with the small hats. These small hats, man, are being revealed, man. You got a whole bunch of people knowing that they ain't right. You go on Instagram, you scroll, you see all your friends and all the likes that they get when they talking about the small hats. So that man is being revealed. The elect is waking up. There's nothing that the Esau Edom could do, because the Lord said that basically don't fear. I was reading that earlier. Let me just grab that now and I'll close out. Lord's will, this video could be edifying, comforted, and motivating to seek the Lord 10 times more. So this is Isaiah 41 verse let me start at, I think it's 13. For I am the Lord thy power, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. And that's the thing, man. He's gonna hold our right hand, man. He's talking about our strong hand, man. That's why we just gotta stay strong and let's keep believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and the presence and the signs and the wonders that he shows us. So we acknowledge his might. We subdue this flesh of ours that causes us to lead to destruction, man. So with that, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakadash. The bonus to my bishops, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the brothers out there pushing the word, sincerity, and truth. Shalom to the elect out there.